Did you ever any contact with Vince again as far as returning to him with an office position?
No. No. Would I? I don't know. I would like to train. I do believe that I know how to do that. I believe I have a gift. And I trained quite a few of these guys where they all were. A lot of them were with him, but Sean O'Hare and the other kid. There's about 4 of them up there.
Chuck Palumbo.
Chuck, and those kids like that. I mean, I know talent. I mean, at least I think I do. But I can tell. I can tell in 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
How'd you get involved with the power plant?
I was asked, and they asked me if I'd be interested in it. Well, I'd already put out a few feelers anyway. I went, absolutely. And they told me what I could do and this and that. I don't know if you ever saw the power plant, but I'll tell you, that was my idea. I put it all together. And it was the finest place in the world to train guys. We had it. I mean, I had it. And I think there's been some people out of there that's going to be stars. Chuck Palumbo, Sean O'Hare, Johnny the Bull. I believe he's going to, I believe those kids are going to be stars. I do. If they're serious about it, if they don't get, cop an attitude, or they're willing to pay the price, and it's going to take years, it's going to take a while. But I think they have the potential, absolutely.
Some people say that the power plant is only there for the guys WCW want to be there, and a guy walking off the street will not be given a chance. What are your thoughts?
That's a lie. Just to take any Tom, Dick, or Harry off the street? No, you're not going to get a chance. Don't waste my time. And let's be real. I gotta be, you gotta be real about it, but in a nice way, and you don't just walk in and ask if you can try out. You got to go through the procedure. And I'd have people that drive from New York and all over the place just come there without calling or anything. You don't do that. I didn't.
Right.
And I ran it. And that's the way it was. You just don't drop in. You don't go to some president or somebody's bank and expect to get right in without calling them and having what I'm saying?
Right.
And you get these people there, and then some of the tapes that I would get, some of them, 5% of them out of 100, 95% of them were nothing.
Right.
And probably I had that place for a year and a half, maybe 2 years. I can't imagine how many people that tapes that I've looked at, boxes, I'd get big, huge boxes a week. I mean, it was a job. And I'd try to get looks at people, see people that looked the part, check their athletic background and stuff like that. Used to get a lot of the women, and well, you know how I feel about that,
You don't like women in the business?
No.
No.
No. I don't. Especially when they're starting to beat the guys. That's a joke. Let's be real.
It is.
Sure it is. Especially fat ones.
Here's a question. Explain the theory of beating a guy up and just killing him with cardio and kicking him out if he can't make it, when a lot of the guys are on top can't even do half the stuff themselves.
Well, when you go to the NFL and you go 4 days a week, what do you think they're trying to do there? They're weeding them out. And you go 4 days a week and you do that for 6, 8 weeks. You're going there to learn, but also you're doing some weeding. And you may have first rounders and stuff that can't make it through it. Well, I'm sorry. If you ain't got the drive, it wasn't just about that. We knew where to stop. And every one of these persons they were invited, because I looked at their films, looked at their resume. I'd call them and I'd tell them 4 to 6 weeks before. I'd give them that time. Be in shape. I mean be in shape. You know what a free squat is. Be able to do 500 of them. When you can do 500 of them every day, then you're in shape. Be able to do 1,500 push-ups. And if you don't take enough, listen, this is your one chance. You got one chance in your life, as I did. I had one chance. They said, we'll give you a tryout. I got one shot. They put me in the ring with Backlund, Bob Roop, Jack Briscoe, and Hiro Masuda. One after another. And I didn't get to rest. There was no rest. Boom, boom, boom. Do that for 5 minutes on each. It was 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes. I went 20 minutes and never stepped in the ring in my life. And I made it because I wanted to. Look what happened. Everybody that broke in there, Mike Graham, Dusty Rhodes, you look at the people, Tito Santana, Greg Valentine, Ricky Steamboat, Hulk Hogan, Bob Orton, myself, Dick Slater, all these people, every one of those people started there. And every one of those people, they sent Hogan to the hospital, his first tryout. Because he cramped up so bad that he couldn't, they had to take him to the hospital. Then he'd come back at another date. They pushed. And if they tell you, okay, be in shape now when you come.
Right.
And if you don't do that, you don't want this business, man. Because what you're doing is you're watching it on TV and you're saying, oh, I can do that and get right in it. Well, you didn't get it with me. You didn't. When I picked somebody that had the heart versus somebody that didn't, you're darn right I would. You better believe it. And every one of those kids that I had and trained, they weren't going to, listen, they could go for 30 minutes nonstop because that's the way I did it. When I did it, I could go for 30 minutes, which means you better keep up with me. You ain't going to be able to keep up with me. And I wrestled with them all. Very few of them was going to keep up with me. Very few. Count them on your hand.
Who was your favorite student, and who was your least favorite student?
Well, Johnny the Bull, Chuck, Sean, Troy, some of these kids, they were all good. Every one of these guys that we kept, ain't no favorites. Every one of them that we kept, they were deserving of it. They deserved, I felt like, a chance. Now, there was some there that, no, and Vince, I think, let them go. But the four or five there that he kept, they got a real chance. And I didn't, I tried to be fair with everybody. I didn't really have favorites, I don't think, and everybody had to do it. And, they get tired of it because they had to do it every day and every day and every day, and we bust their butt. But let me tell you something, they were being paid. They were being paid to train. There's a big difference of being paid and not being paid.
Right.
Because when I'm paying you, and I say if you were in that power plant, then I went to them and asked them, this is the kind of money I think he needs. And basically I was the one doing it.
How much was Eric Bischoff involved with the power plant?
Not that much, really. But that's his stupidity.
What exactly happened with Liz Thatcher at the power plant?
Well, I mean, to me, here you got a guy, what an ambulance chaser is, or somebody is just trying to make a living off of you or some way. And he's on, I think he did a 2020, and he's on there with a notebook, pencil and paper, and writing all this stuff down and telling everybody out there how easy it is and this and that. That's trash. I didn't shake his hand. And I have no respect for him. None. and nor should the people, because there's the ones that's getting ripped off. They are getting ripped off. It's not right.
Watch thousands of exclusive shoot interviews right now on TitleMatchNetwork.com.